LeBlanc and Trundle.
And, you know, kind of in their own group, Game Talents beat everyone below them and then lost to everyone above them, and we're like, oh, this is a very predictable team. And then you're right, they went into cross-conference and they started taking games off, like, the WEs and winning those sets and then losing sets as well, and we're kind of like, this is a little bit backwards. So I really do hope they can find consistency in both of these lineups, because they have potential to be the second or third team in their respective groups.
Well, in game one here, once again, you know, kind of a trend that followed over from yesterday. No Vladimir, no Ryze ban coming into the match. In fact, Kindred was the final ban coming out from baeme, which means Game Talents are going to instantly lock in the Vladimir. That does leave Rek'Sai and Ryze both open and available for baeme to pick.
And what we've kind of seen is if you give Vladimir to a good farming mid laner, he can put on a lot of pressure without actually having to have kill threat because of the way he controls minion, whereas Ryze doesn't really get that benefit of being able to do so. So I do think that Vladimir right now is a better laner and therefore a little bit higher priority in the LPL. I'm saying that Ryze still, if you get to 2-3 items, is going to take over a game, going to start wrecking people.
And we can see baeme during their first pick rotation have gone for Jhin and Rek'Sai. The AD carry we talked about a little bit before this game started, and Rek'Sai, the most popular jungler, you could say, at the moment?
100% most popular jungle. I think that if you're a good Kindred player, there's still an argument to take that over Rek'Sai. Otherwise, Rek'Sai just gives so much control, farms incredibly quickly. I think that Jhin right now is also a fantastic AD carry, so you can understand exactly what they're going for here. baeme, they've already got enough initiation in their kit where they can just pick whatever they want in the other roles.
Well, on the flip side, Game Talents, they've gone for that Irelia pickup here. So GimGoon is going to be playing that one up in the top lane here today, as Braum's going to be their support of choice.
And this is the thing that will continue to bemuse me. The rise of Braum. Like, Braum came out of nowhere. And, like, last week, I think it was, against EDG, RNG started first banning it. And then when they didn't ban it, it was first picked. And it was winning games. And teams were like, range support meta is so prevalent right now. But Braum has just shot up out of nowhere, Fish. I mean, he wasn't touched for a week before that.
Well,
and he's back to being first pick banned nearly.
Teams in the LPL always find a way to get those aggressive supports back into the meta. As we can see, of it on baeme's side, it's going to be Thresh, another support that's Ryze a little bit. We thought it was a very signature pick for a couple of teams, most specifically towards 5, who played that a lot during Spring Split, but a lot of teams are picking up now as Ryze and Thresh will be the lock-in for baeme.
And that's a good 1-2 punch right there. I mean, we already spoke about it. Initiation in spades. I love Thresh and Jhin because they fight in very similar windows around the flame-powered auto attack and things like that. Thresh has enough CC to be able to lock them down if Jhin wants to go into ultimate. And Thresh does surprising amounts of damage, especially if he has ignites. I mean, you can open up with Jhin and Thresh can flash onto an AD carry. If he hits a box in the play with ignite, you're pretty much guaranteed the kill with Jhin. So he does turn it into a pretty heavy kill lane.
We saw that combo yesterday when Mike Dong was playing Thresh with the Thunderlords, and he got that, half health kill onto someone halfway through a team fight. It's pretty strong. But for now, Game Talents are going to look for Lucian as their AD carrier pickup of choice, and they're still waiting for a jungler to be locked in.
And what a great young support player, just going back to yesterday's games. I mean, My Dong is really making waves in the LPL right now. Rusty loves him. I have no idea why, but yeah, his Thresh was incredible. He was just able to pick people out of nowhere.
And there's other support players that are going to be picking up that champion. Like today, we see Road picking it up. Very good champion for him to be playing in particular, just because he's a very strong initiating support. Whereas Game Talents, they've gone for Elise as their jungler of choice to complete their lineup.
This is a gauntlet thrown if amazingJ actually decides to pick this one up. That's a volatile top lane matchup if I've ever seen one. The Irelia into the Fizz. You would assume it will be Trinity Force Fizz as well. Especially if it's amazingJ. I like that better. I think Hecarim is a really good answer to most Trinity Force users. Doesn't have to pick it up his first item. I don't think that is a good answer to Trinity Force users. I think you're going to lose the lane quite heavily. Probably have to lane swap if you go towards a Nautilus, amazingJ. And when you've locked in Jhin Thresh, which is such a potent 2v2, probably don't want to do that. But he's doing it anyway.
Well, amazingJ does have this interestingly diverse champion pool. He played Darius for a single game during LPL, and now he's going to be picking up Nautilus for the 3rd time here.
Well, Darius and Garen are actually, he's very vocal about Darius and Garen being his 2 favorite champions. So he loves the Juggernauts. Nautilus doesn't really fit in a Juggernaut at all category. I honestly, this is going to be a really interesting matchup to see how they try and hide the Nautilus. early game, because Irelia, especially when she gets to about the level 4 mark, can start taking over lanes.
We certainly can, and we haven't seen too much of Irelia in the LPL. In fact, it's amazingJ, like you mentioned earlier. It's normally the one that's playing the champion. Today we're going to get GimGoon on it, his first appearance of Irelia this split in the LPL.
And I feel like the reason we don't see Irelia much is because there is a tendency still in the LPL to fumble lane swaps, you know, not be able to get deep wards, get trapped in what is an extended lane swap. You know, they sometimes muck up lane assignments, and we do see top lanes quite often get very far behind. So that's why I'm expecting Game Talents to try and fight for that 2v2 as much as possible. See if they can get GimGoon the one-on-one matchup. Especially
feels like with the AD carry supports being the primary focus for LPL, they go for that tank top laners mostly. But for now, we're going to head into Summoner's Rift for game number 1 between Talents and Aime. We're on to Summoner's Rift for game number 1 between Game Talents and Aime here. And thank you, Observer, for once again showing us it's going to be a Cloud Dragon that spawns first here on the Rift today. Don't think we'll see too much fighting take place over that one.
Nah, although, you know, you never know with these teams. Certainly could be, but it looks like we're actually getting a pretty standard fan out here, just guarding the river entrances, which gives me hope that maybe we're going to see the standard lanes that we want so much.
For now, we can take a look at the Kiso Masteries. Another Thunderlord's Jhin coming out to play here today from jinjiao.
Yeah, that's interesting. I was more looking at Wind Speaker's Vlad. Not Wind Speaker's, Storm Raiders. That's interesting. You don't see him that much very often.
Well, he's got Ghost as well, so he really wants to run fast.
Yeah, he's going to be booking it around Summoner's Rift. And it's actually Game Talents that go for a blind swap here. You don't really know whether that is because they spotted someone out or whether they think that they can just get it done. But this will hurt the Irelia a little bit. She doesn't have the same jungle assistance of what Nautilus does. Yeah, I was thinking about it a lot. I think that for a laning summoner, Thunderlords is better. The reason I say that is because you trade generally on your second last bullet as Jhin. So what you'll do is you walk up, you shoot him, you'll get the guaranteed crit on your last bullet, you'll speed up really quickly and you go away, you'll throw a grenade in between, maybe try and hit him with your W a little bit. Thunderlords really makes that a beneficial trade. The later the game goes, however, when you start getting up to around the 600 AD mark, which is very possible on Jhin, it just becomes so much more valuable to have what is normally Death by a Touch.
Well, we're going to see jinjiao bringing in the Thunderlords here today. You know, suits their playstyle a little bit, coming from the LPL, known for their laning phase, known to be very aggressive and strong early in the game. And we do see that lane swap coming out from Game Talent. So PentaQ and Savoki head up to the top side of the map. jinjiao and Road down to the bottom side here after taking their Grump camp away.
And this is something we've seen actually very often, is that the AD carry will now chase the top laner away because you're only bringing 2 people there generally. As Avoidless is able to pick up his red buff. Savoki's not done yet, however. He's got another shield in him, at least one.
He stole one of those small lizards. Looking for more now. amazingJ doing his best to bloody block Savoki to get anywhere closer to this Raptor camp.
Yeah, and that's where it gets dangerous, because all of a sudden, you know, you might have a red buff top laner flashing on you and stuff like that, so you have to get out of there quite quickly. But a little bit less impediment here for the Game Talents duo, and the reason for that is just with a Jhin, you have to be so careful how you set up your lane swap. Because, as I said, he's not really the best turret pusher at the start of the game, so you need to make sure the wave is perfect, that you get your top laner there in due time. So you can respect the fact that jinjiao Road didn't really go for any tomfoolery down in the bottom lane. Want to make sure that they nail this 3v0 lane swap.
Yep, it's been pretty standard lane swap so far. No shenanigans like what we saw yesterday with LGD playing their lane swaps out.
They're weird, dude. Like, RNG has started to muck around with lane swaps a little bit as well, and it always works domestically in China, but it has never worked internationally, so I don't understand it all that much.
But now, Game Talents and Aime looking to start this one very standard. Let's see what they swap into after they take down the first outer turrets. That does mean that mid lane between Republic and baeme has been rather isolated for now. Seems like Vladimir's getting the upper hand on that, constantly pushing the Ryze in towards his turret.
That's what you expect. I mean, Vlad gets to take a shield, he gets to take a potion as well, so it's very, very easy for him to shove in. You also have the benefit of not having any mana cost, so that's really good for the Vladimir early game. And Ryze does need a couple of items to get himself rolling. So, you know, we always talk about it. Get a couple of mana items. They don't really have to evolve into anything. As soon as you get the Catalyst tier, you can start controlling the lane a little bit more. But it is going to be a difficult early game task.
And you know, a little bit out of baeme's comfort zone. He wants to be that aggressive mid laner very early into the game. So we do see the two turrets up in the top side and bottom lane fall down.
More importantly, we see the two lane wards come out, one from the jungler and one from the support player, I believe. So they're going to be able to see in a couple of seconds where jinjiao and Road walk over that. That should be the signal for GimGoon to start pushing as hard as he possibly can. Whereas it looks like they're actually going to use that to swap back. They want the 1v1 now.
Game telling someone to go into that 2-on-2 as well, up at the top side of the map.
And that means that amazingJ has pushed back. I'd love to get a glimpse of that bottom wave and see if he did enough to make sure it's going to bounce back into his favor. If they get a deep freeze on this side of the map, it might be a bad news story. Looks like it is pretty much frozen down there. Top lane is going to continue to push towards game talent, so a little bit of a mind game in advantage of game talent.
Well, let's see if GT can freeze that one down on the bottom lane with Irelia. Definitely wants to pick up as much farm as possible to get her items stacked up and going.
And you know, this isn't a bad tactic, because all they really do give up if they do freeze it is the Cloud Drake, and Dragon used to mean a heck of a lot more than what a Cloud Drake does right now, which is why this was a frowned upon tactic. Maybe they can get some form of pressure in the mid lane, but it's very hard to dive of Vladimir, and he has fairly decent wave clear at this stage of the game.
We've got three people looking towards the mid lane though. amazingJ and Avoidless are going to head in there. Republic has already been snared down by baeme.
He is.
Just going to pop that ghost, start to run away. Ryze puts some good damage down, but he just, you know, does a U-turn, gets straight back into lane, starts healing up.
Exactly right. So he's just able to use a ghost, doesn't even have to burn flash. That's why double evasion summoner spell is so highly valued on Vlad. I mean, he doesn't need any more damage in his kit anyway, Fish. He absolutely smacks people around, so good job there out of Republic to be able to nullify a gank, and now they have to send their duo back into the bottom lane and see if they can push this one in.
Yep, amazingJ heading down to the bot side of the map. In fact, jinjiao's here as well, so it's a three-man push coming out from baeme.
This becomes dangerous for game talents. Road takes a couple of shots. They need to get their support in underneath that turret as quickly as possible. Otherwise, there is a potential for a dive.
Oh, wushuang and GimGoon are here. There
go.
goes the hook coming out. GimGoon actually forced the flash away. They're still putting some damage back down on towards amazingJ, but they burn the summoner spell on the Irelia.
So they break the freeze, but pretty important here for game talents is that they secured 3 lanes of farm the entirety of this game so far. And really, IMA's only been able to farm 2 of them, which means there's an 11 CS discrepancy in the AD carry role, and there's about a 10 CS discrepancy in the top lane role. So even though the lanes are going to start slowly pushing back towards them, it's given game talents about a 20 CS lead in total, which is quite good for this early in the game.
Yeah, it's given them a 300 gold lead on top of IMA, which is not all that great, but it's still a gold lead nonetheless.
It's something, right? They're starting to build up. You know, we've already said that they've got pretty dominant 1v1 and 2v2s. They're getting towards first major components of their items, something like a phage, something like that serrated Dirk, and that's meant they should be able to start turning on the pressure. They have had to be quite careful in their navigation so far. I mean, we saw double summoner spells burnt, one out of the mid lane, one out of the top lane to be able to secure all that farm. But the fact that they were able to get a slight advantage at the start of the game nonetheless is quite good for a young team.
For now, though, rather quiet game coming up from IMA and game talents, just opting to match that 2-on-2 lane.
And you have to think that that suits game talents. I mean, IMA are the fast team. Game talents play a little bit more akin to the WE without some of the late game finesse, although they were able to beat the team that they're probably most like in the LPL. And they have guaranteed that this one's going to shove in, hit the turret. Road's not going to be able to freeze that.
Doing the exact same thing they did previously, what IMA did previously. Just now up on the top side of the map, making sure IMA can't freeze that lane deep inside their own territory. Avoidless looked like he wanted to try and stop them from doing it, but wushuang showed his face up top side, so it was a 3-on-3 if they did.
Yeah, everyone kind of gathered around that and looked to jockey for a fight. I mean, game talents never really wanted to commit. They just wanted to hit the turret. And they've been successful in both lanes in doing that, so pretty good early game.
amazingJ now has a nice stack of minions down the bottom side of the map. GimGoon is going to make his way down as well.
The reason that this is really important is because GimGoon can get good item timing on what will be a Trinity Force first item. You know, if you're able to get some good combat stats on your Vladimir as well, this can go wrong really quickly for IMA because their timings come a lot later into the game. I mean, we're talking about a super tank as well as a Ryze. So even Jhin, I mean, he's got good CC for an AD carry, but really does need a couple of items to start rolling. So you'd have to say the spike is going to come out of Game Talents a lot sooner. And if they're able to utilize that to maybe siege down some turrets or get some big CS advantages, it's going to hurt IMA's chances of winning this game.
Even a couple of super tanks, really, with Avoidless being in the lineup on Rek'Sai.
Oh yeah, he's going to be massive as well, so completely agree with that sentiment.
Well, for now, it's still just been a very slow game. Game Talent's opting to take this one slow and steady. The goal lead has just even back up between the two teams, so IMA were able to find that farm back in their favor.
You have to say a lot of that is the Ryze starting to hit back. I mean, Republic had a pretty big early advantage. Couple of minion waves, but baeme burning that teleport to get back into the lane has meant good news.
Well, we can see what items they're starting to pick up here. Irelia already working towards the Trinity Force with the Phage pickup. Wushuang going for the Runic Echoes on the Elise, as we do see jinjiao and Rogue working on the top lane outer turret.
We've seen this delay of swap a couple of times, actually, and the key thing to note is that Elise has joined it, whereas on the other side of the map they haven't, so maybe a potential to push through here on the next wave, see if Game Talents want to try and commit. Although Rek'Sai has now joined them on the other side of the map.
So that turret is going to fall down up on the top side of the map. jinjiao and Rogue able to pick that one up.
And if any team's committing right now, it's actually the IMA lineup. Elise walked away, got very good triangle vision in the blue side jungle, but no one looks like they're going back there. So they're going to start up what is a dragon, but it's only an air drake. They need to be careful they don't lose out on too much CS.
Savoki was actually recalling then. The wave is going to crash onto him if he started to recall any further, so heads back into Fog of War. Like you mentioned, IMA pushed through up on the top side of the map, trying to get the wave on towards the top lane in the turret. And wushuang is going to be able to take down this air dragon, the first dragon of the game.
Yeah, and you know, amazingJ, not amazingJ, sorry, GimGoon. That's amazingJ's champion. GimGoon is a summoner. Able to get into that top lane turret, and even though it's going to push back slowly against him, you know, he grabbed a lot of the farm, so still a fairly decent CS advantage here.
And I may respond by taking down the Rift Herald.
And give it to Avoidless. Interesting.
Opting not to let amazingJ take that one to the top side of the map up against GimGoon.
I thought they would give it to amazingJ just because, you know, Irelia can be fairly obnoxious in a 1-3-1 situation. Pretty good split pusher in the earlier stages of the game. Will allow Nautilus to stand up against her, but maybe they envisage that happening a little bit more with the Rek'Sai.
Well, now we're heading into standard lanes finally on their correct laning assignments too. So PentaQ and Savoki will go up against jinjiao and Rogue. Down on the bottom side of the map. No outer turrets stand on these two side lanes anymore, though.
And everyone kind of came out of this pretty even, apart from junglers, in which case is going to Avoidless. Rek'Sai just farms a little bit quicker in the earlier stages. But GimGoon is 24 CS up on amazingJ, and you need to make sure that this wave doesn't get too big, because then the Irelia starts looking to put down a lot of harass.
Avoidless actually making his way down to the bottom side of the map. Clears out the pink ward that was placed down by Savoki earlier.
And I want to see what part of the map they now look to prioritize. I mean, bottom half of the map control does seem to be at least right now in Game Talent's favor. They've got a lot more deep vision. Top half is littered with Rek'Sai tunnels as well as some wards. So you can see that amazingJ feels nice and confident down there. Really is on Elise right now to get into that top side of the map, start collapsing some tunnels and threaten amazingJ, making sure that he can't pick up what is going to be a massive creep wave when it finally hits his turret.
Yep, GimGoon's pushing that one up quite nicely. So we move towards the mid lane. Republic up against baeme here. Republic going for a Spirit Visage as his first item here. Which, you know, is very staple on Vladimir, but not so much as the first item pickup of choice.
Yeah, normally you see something like a dash cannon early on. So yeah, I agree with you. A little bit different, as this is a reckless invade here.
Wushuang looking to try and take away this red buff. Avoidless is there looking to get the smite off. It will go over towards Wushuang. Pick someone up.
Able to grab it for himself.
Successful invade coming out from him. And Savoki does get locked down by the hook and the W from Jhin, but Rogue taking a lot of damage in return. PentaQ trying to dash forward for that one. Pops out the ultimate. Dark Passage is able to save jinjiao from any trouble.
Yep, something saves someone, and he still wants it.
He still wants it. Flashes and heals aggressively forward for it. Rogue and jinjiao desperately trying to run away. GimGoon has teleported around, trying to go onto the backside of this fight. Rogue gets a good hook, but PentaQ still picks up first spot, but they're not done yet. Republic snooping around the backside there. jinjiao now getting jumped up by GimGoon. He finds another kill. Avoidless has to start running for his life now. And somewhere across the map, baeme finds the kill onto wushuang.
That is a huge committal, and as you mentioned, you know, baeme able to kill out the spider there in the mid lane. But, okay, we're going to say the mid lane one. All right, Ryze just runs him down. That's probably not the one we were looking to see. I actually wanted to see how that all started off, because they land the hook onto the Braum, and probably not the target they were looking for, miss out on the chain CC. And then, honestly, it was PentaQ. He goes berserk, does not take kindly to Savoki being singled out at all, and chases two members 3/4 away down the lane.
Yeah, this is almost like a reversal of roles coming from SpringSplit. SpringSplit or Savoki, I will save you, PentaQ, when you go too aggressive and we don't really want you there. Now it's like, PentaQ, I will save you, Savoki, when you get hooked up. Make sure you're all right.
It was like, hands off the support.
The AD carrier support from Game Talents taking care of each other since SpringSplit. That does give 2 kills on over towards Game Talents. It did burn the teleport from GimGoon to get down to the bottom lane there.
Double summoner spells out of mid, top, and AD carry to guarantee those 2 kills, but 2 kills nonetheless, one of them being first blood. Definitely worthwhile.
Now amazingJ, he's actually getting ganked here by wushuang. Gonna be able to find him in this bush. Tries to slow them down. Pops the ultimate as well. Teleport is coming up into the top side of the map from baeme, but GimGoon and wushuang just continuing the chase. The repel comes out, gets the hook onto terrain to try and close the gap. GimGoon still pretty fast and looking for the chase. Avoidless is up here. GimGoon does get the slowdown. Pops the ultimate. Will be able to take down amazingJ. No, just quite. It was wushuang gets that final auto attack down to take the Nautilus up in the top side of the map.
So once again, really good committal, because they force him off a massive way. They're going to be able to guarantee a freeze right now. And they do get the teleport also out of baeme. So really nice job from Game Talents attacking the weak side of the map. We already said it. If amazingJ loses too much more farm, he's at risk of becoming like a really easy target for Irelia to single out.
He's done a good job so far. Game Talents, although they've made the aggressive plays across the map, they're still dead even in goal with baeme at the moment.
Yeah, and there's a pretty big wave that jinjiao's holding as well. So that's going to be risky to be able to get in there. Actually started to shove it. Also, next dragon is coming up. Fish, let's play the game again. What is it?
I'm going to go with Ocean Dragons. That's what it was last time when I was wrong.
All right. We'll see how he goes.
Knowing my luck, it's going to be another air dragon.
So yeah, this is kind of worrisome for both teams. I mean, Jhin holding a massive wave, Irelia holding a wave on the other side of the map. It's not really where either want to be.
wushuang able to clear out the pink ward there.
Whoa.
Pops the Raptor sense for it.
No.
No, Spectator not letting us see today. Have to keep us guessing for another 30 seconds. But here's an aggressive teleport from amazingJ. Looking for PentaQ and Savoki. The Braum has been locked down. Forced to flash away. Curtain Call comes out. Jhin misses the first. Hits the second onto the Braum. We'll get the third and fourth to take him down. And jinjiao finds the pick onto Game Talents.
Yeah, and only 15 seconds to the Dragon means that's probably going to be a free objective for baeme as we pan. No! We don't get to see what it is, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to keep you guessing.
There it is.
You were wrong.
I thought so.
It happens to the best of us, man. Don't worry. Keep swinging.
I like how you had no part in this. You just did not bet on it at all.
Yeah, you miss 100% of shots you don't take, Fish. Which is why I haven't missed a shot.
Well, Air Dragon will fall for baeme here, so they tie up a dragon apiece. The next dragon to spawn is going to be another Air Dragon. So cloud, cloud, cloud all day.
Yeah, lots of clouds in the sky. Maybe subscribing a little bit more to the Sydney weather than the Shanghai weather right now, where it's quite warm. Over here, I am freezing in a jumper. But you have to say a back and forth early game between both of these teams.
It certainly has been. baeme now looking for an aggressive push towards the bot lane inner turret. They've got 4 members down on the bottom side of the map. baeme even rotating into Fog of War to try and threaten a 5-man push. We get some decent damage on towards the turret, but not quite able to take it down. As PentaQ and Savoki successfully defend the siege.
Yeah, don't really want to push through there, but once again, they just make sure it can't be held at the turret. That's a 30 CS advantage right now for jinjiao. GimGoon's just being annoying, to be honest. There's no way amazingJ is going to have fun against this Irelia. She already has Trinity Force, goes for Ninja Tabby just to make sure that the Jhin can't deal with her at all. Game plan becomes, you know, can you peel well enough Ryze? Can you peel well enough Nautilus to keep me off what is going to be the Jhin? Because I think that I can kill him.
30 CS and a kill. amazingJ only has the Sunfire Cape to his name right now, so it's a pretty big Irelia. As Republic in this mid lane has now got his Hextech Gunblade. He does get locked down here by baeme and jinjiao. They're looking to try and get the curly call down on towards the Vladimir. Has to flash away. The fourth bullet not going to connect either. So Republic able to escape that.
But that's actually a really good start to a siege. And as I said, you give any control mage really to Jhin at the moment. He just puts down so much damage. They will be able to grab that one and actually extend their gold lead to about 1,000. So nice job from Aime. They get Game Talents to blink first.
Yep, Aime looking good. Start of this match, been back and forth so far, but now the first sizable gold lead is in their favor. But baeme has been caught out here by wushuang.
That is one of the scariest moments, by the way. When you jump onto a Ryze, realize you do no damage because he has Roa and already an Archangels. Then he turns around and stares at you just a little bit. You run, Fish.
Oh.
You get the heck out of there.
wushuang knows that feeling. He did get solo killed by him previously in the mid lane.
That was when he didn't have items.
Scared.
Yeah.
Well, we can take a look at those items that have been picked up so far here. We do see the Yoma's Ghostblade coming out from both PentaQ and jinjiao as baeme pops his ultimate, going rather aggressive there. Dark Passage is there to save him if he needs any help.
Once again, you kind of see the reaction out of PentaQ, who throws out a warning shot, or 16 from the culling, tries to get him away. The only danger sign right now for Aime, everyone is scaling up so incredibly nicely, is can they secure any farm onto amazingJ, who needs to be a tank. Otherwise, just becomes a little bit useless as the game goes on. So that should be the priority right now. Get as much empty lane farm onto your Nord as possible. Allow him to be able to push out the waves. Because right now, baeme and jinjiao, they're in a great situation to be able to carry, as long as they have that front line they need.
Everybody on the side of Aime is ahead in terms of CS, except for this Nautilus, who is 50 CS behind GimGoon right now. So a sizable lead for the top laner.
And I love when you can see like the enemy strategy coming to life. Because I look down Game Talents items right now, and they're all building magic resist. And I know the game is going to be dive as hard as you can onto jinjiao. Because the game plan is kill Jhin with no physical damage dealers left. We can take over the back end of a team fight as they go in, get a hook.
Flashes forward, gets the hook on towards Savoki. He puts up the shield there, but baeme's wrapped around the back lines, gets some good damage on towards PentaQ. Curtical has to be popped. Savoki will die to the ignite. He's trying to dodge the final bullet here, gets hit by it. jinjiao finds the sniper's kill as Aime looking to run rampage through the Game Towers lineup. Irelia finds the kill to baeme in the back lines as a double kill comes down for jinjiao. Republic now has to pull and try and run away. They're chasing down, gets so much health back from the ultimate. Flash forward from amazingJ just to lock down the Vlad a little bit longer. The flash forward one more time as the hook comes in. The final auto attack's going to be enough. A delayed triple coming in for jinjiao.
jinjiao goes absolutely massive on the back of that team fight. And we said they have all the MR in the world. They have to kill the Jhin while they don't get him. And he tears the lineup apart. Now Aime in a position to push down this mid lane.
They're going to be able to take it down here unless Savoki has a word or two to say about it. He's looking to try and defend the siege all by himself for now. Tags up amazingJ, slows him down. GimGoon comes up, does get locked down by the hook there. Fly backwards as well, tries to get out. Gonna get knocked up by Avoidless. Lots of damage going down to Savoki and towards GimGoon. Does stun up Avoidless, gets tanking turret, hits his PentaQ. He's going off, dashes forward, pops the Yoma's Ghostblade. Finds the first kill for his team.
Yeah, they needed that. They needed to hit back because otherwise a tier 2 was going to fall down. Now all of a sudden, Game Talents do have a slight window where they can try and pressure the mid lane turret of their own. This game is so close.
They're looking to do just that. They get some good damage down towards the mid lane outer turret. This should fall down. No major objective left.
amazingJ has teleport, so does baeme. They can potentially look for a flank. Don't call for it. So we'll just back away. They give it up for free. We're back within 1,300 gold.
Very even between these two teams. Seems like Aime are the aggressors the later half of the early game here. His Game Talents have been a little bit more reactionary at the moment.
As I said, like Aime are kind of the sprinters of the LPL. They set up very, very nicely around something, but when they pull the trigger, they all go in unison. They go very, very hard. Kind of how LGD used to play when they had breaks between their sprints. Now they just run like madmen until they're out of breath, fall over and die somewhere. But yeah, so it's really nice to watch Aime actually play as a team. The difficulty is if you mis-execute on one of these,
not educate,
does come back and bite you in the bum, Fish.
We'll have to see if they do mis-execute it all here.
Ah! Got it.
It's contagious, Spawn.
It is.
I may have found a nice 2,000 gold lead for themselves at the moment.
I like to just think it's that you're competitive. You know, anything you can do, I can do better. You know, you think you can butcher the English language? You wait till I start speaking.
I don't think that's a contest I want to be involved in at the moment. As the third Air Dragon's going to spawn here. Ironman looking to try and take this one down. wushuang has a word or two to say about that. Tries to smite away, not going to get it. Savoki, he's been locked down. Tries to get the ultimate off before he dies. As Curticle's been popped in the back lines. A flash away from Republic. Heals up so much there, but does have the ultimate come out from Nautilus and gets locked down by Avoidless and baeme. He's taking a lot of damage as Republic still trying to run away. He's healing up as much as possible, but they lock him down. Ironman find 2 picks and the Dragon for that fight. They have their eyes set towards Baron.
And they commit on the steal. And I think it was Kobe at MSI. If you're going to steal, don't fight afterwards. So all of a sudden, in goes wushuang. He wants to try and get the steal. Savoki, meanwhile, he wants to fight. PentaQ not even there. It's their mid laner that pays for it in Republic. And Baron only at 5,000 health.
It's going to go down to half health here as jinjiao trying to stay as further back in the pit as possible. wushuang does get locked down and tagged up by Jhin too. He's going to get taken down. GimGoon goes to the back lines. He finds Jhin. Now it's going to be PentaQ trying to do what he can in the back lines. He gets another kill. They find the Thresh. Here comes Savoki. They're trying to turn this around. They finally take down GimGoon, but PentaQ, he's been locked down. Ironman looking to take down the only damage dealer left. He tries to do what he can, but he just can't. As Savoki dies another time in this teamfight, and Ironman find even more kills.
And baeme comes up massive for his team. It looked like it was going to be GimGoon that was able to get in the back line. He assassinates the Jhin, turns his attention over towards that Ryze. But just a little bit too much durability at this stage of the game does mean that he does not fall down. And I thought he was going to be able to get it, but in the end, it is Aime hitting back even harder.
They certainly have, and they've given themselves a nice gold lead on top of that. 4,000 gold ahead of Game Talents at the moment.
And really, it's this prioritization of the Vladimir that's coming back and biting them in the backside, because right now, IMA's mid laner, 3-1-7, being involved in 10 out of the 12 kills. 0-2-1 is what Republic is on across the other side of the rift. And we said that, you know, GimGoon Republic, they don't have to be the carries, they just have to be able to do their job. Well, unfortunately, if you pick Vladimir, your job is to carry, and he's not doing it this game.
You know, you said earlier they want to try and kill jinjiao as fast as possible, get rid of the Jhin. It's kind of hard when he's playing American Sniper in the back lines and no one can get to him as he nails everybody with the Curtain Call.
Yeah, he's doing a really good job with that. Curtain Call is one of those spells where if you hit one of them, you pretty much guaranteed to hit the rest if they don't have dashes. But, you know, you've got to give credit where credit's due. He's certainly nailing the first one more often than not.
And now has the Mortius being picked up as well. As that Yomu's Ghostblade looking for his Dustblade of Drakthar next, you would seem. As Road finds another hook onto Savoki, pops down the shield, tries to stay alive as long as possible, but jinjiao hits the Curtain Call and finds the kill one more time.
And you can see that he fires out the second bullet, doesn't hit. So save the cooldown, you know, go back towards Baron, restart this one up with Avoidless as well as baeme. They tear through this so incredibly quickly.
They're going straight on top of that Baron. They decide to peel off.
amazingJ is actually behind them. This is a very big pincer.
Road was looking for the hook. It's going to get flashed away by wushuang, but PentaQ's being caught. baeme finds the kill. They're going to lock down Republic, who immediately has to go into a pool and hex-tech his way out of there. The flash forward from amazingJ gets another one. Avoidless is joined in the fight as well. Road's going to find that kill for herself. GimGoon gets locked down. Iame, they're steamrolling through Game Talents.
And Hook City coming out of Road and amazingJ right now. They are nailing every single one of their dredge lines and death sentences. And right now, there's not really all that much that Game Talent can do, but slowly, one at a time, feed themselves to this Baron pit.
And once again, they go straight back towards the Baron buff. They're looking to try and take it down this time around. Game Talents, they don't want anything to do with this Aime lineup. They're going to give over the buff, and Aime pick up a 26-minute Baron.
Yeah, so really nicely done there from Aime. I mean, they just kept going back there and peeling off straight away. amazingJ had a really nice flank this time around. And, you know, overzealousness from GimGoon as well as wushuang. They didn't really have PentaQ's back at all, and PentaQ just got absolutely destroyed.
He certainly did, and he was playing those team fights pretty well to start off this game. Had some impressive dashes and bobs and weaves throughout them. That team fight just got slaughtered from the flank from amazingJ as well. Time and time again, Rose be finding these hooks to start off the fights. Most of them go over towards Savoki, who they obliterate before he can do anything in return.
And you know, it's a 60 CS lead still for GimGoon over amazingJ, which is what we said was a big win condition, but 10 assists and a couple of kills are going to more than make up for the differences there. Not to mention the fact that, you know, the neutrals are just continually going in Aime's direction. So AJ's caught up so incredibly well. And now, on what is a very poor tank shredding comp, he's in a situation to just be that huge frontliner along with a Avoidless that his team needs.
Well, he has been so far, like you mentioned earlier, flashing forward for lots of great dredge lines in this match. as Aime looks to try and push down the bottom lane inhibitor turret. They're already working on it. Got some Baron up minions doing some work there. amazingJ on road finds another good hooker towards Savoki one more time. Flays wushuang backwards. He's going to sacrifice his life for it as GimGoon's gone back into the back lines. Takes a lot of damage from jinjiao. They find a good Thresh line again to be able to take down GimGoon. Protobell comes out. There is the ultimate. PentaQ finds the second shot. PentaQ's trying to block them. The fourth one goes straight into the Lucian. Knocks him away from the turret. As a teleport comes straight out here to try and get back into this fight. amazingJ walks on over. They'd be able to take down the bottom lane inhibitor turret and probably the inhibitor for that too.
Yeah, and you know, PentaQ, you saw that he doesn't even really want to tank the last one there because jinjiao is absolutely destroying people right now. They get back in with a teleport. They're able to grab the inhibitor. Dragon is about to respawn. They'll grab that on the way out most likely. And Aime have just taken it up a notch. Game Talents look like they could go with them. And Aime's just kicked it into another gear, and there's no response. 9,000 gold ahead of Game Talents. What looked like to be a game where Game Talents were just going to start to scale and outscale. Aime have just been shut down. They really showed their aggression after the lane swap was completed from these two teams. And they're not stopping. They're forcing Game Talents to completely react every single time. As Ocean Dragon is going to be the dragon that spawns here for Aime. They take that one down. It's going to be the Elder Dragon that spawns next. Yeah, so Elder Dragon up. No real combat dragons to be had in this game, but 3 dragons is still nice when you grab the Elder Dragon on top of it for all that burn damage. Really, I don't even... they're so far ahead. 8,000 gold, 29 minutes. This game exploded in what was a flurry of action. And ever since, like, when we were watching PvE-style League of Legends, just jockeying around the map, you know, Game Talents looked once again like they were going to come out ahead. But Aime, they kind of just have played very clean team fights since then. Been able to get the pick before every single one of them, priority members, and take them out. It seems like Game Talents just can't quite get into the backline to deal with jinjiao. GimGoon tried to. That last fight, he got killed for it. Every time he tries to go into the back line, he dived forward. I mean,
so
he even got the reset on road, I believe. You know, was able to pick up the kill there, look for the Jhin, and there was just absolutely nothing he can do. Because as I said, it was up to baeme and amazingJ to kind of peel back. And the fact that he hasn't really gone for a huge amount of magic resistance right now in his build just means that he can't get through this huge Ryze. Well, baeme has his void staff and looking for a Guardian Angel. This next item pickup. Yeah, well, they hadn't killed him before that fish, so I don't think they're going to be able to kill him afterwards. Meanwhile, jinjiao's also got the Dustblade of Drakthar, so it has lots of armor penetration, especially with the last Whisper being picked up. And you know, this is a team call, right? It always is. Vladimir over Ryze. What do we value? Yesterday, we saw the Vladimir come up absolutely huge. And, you know, was making a case for, if played well, can definitely do good things. You know, ghosting over the top of people, flashing, proto-belting, nothing in that series. Punished. Yep, just to remind you of that. That was LGD. Go check that one out, guys. Very nice Vladimir out of Punish. But this time around, Republic's honestly done nothing this game. 0, 3, and 2 behind in farm, pretty much. And has had the game flow just dictated to it. Not looking great so far. This Baron buff is going to run out for Aime, so that signals their retreat. They do get lots of turrets for it. Every single outer turret and an inhibitor for their troubles. And they do the right thing. They clean out the top side jungle as well. All 3 waves pushing simultaneously. They're just controlling any income that Game Talents can actually generate right now. Avoidless is huge. I mean, he has a GA for himself as well. He's definitely a super tank at this stage of the game. 10,000 gold. Really just does come down to what they can do. They find Savoki again. I think this is deja vu here as the support gets locked down. I may find another pick and set their eyes towards another inhibitor turret. Road's a beast. I mean, he completely fakes out GimGoon there, runs towards him, threatens to break the Banshee's Veil. GimGoon tries to pretend he's going to tank it, swaps to Savoki straight away. That's going to be a second inhibitor going down, and you feel that this one within the next couple of minutes is going to be all she wrote for Game Talents unless they can get a miracle team fight against double GAs. I may have stormed onto the series road. He did get that initiating support. He's making work with his 1, 3, and 13. And they're looking for that final inhibitor turret. Ryze pops the ultimate, doesn't find that hook on towards GimGoon. Cocoon comes out, misses everybody. They're looking for more damage on towards this inhibitor turret. Should be taken down here by Aime. No response from Game Talents. wushuang gets locked down. Republic tries to go to back lines. PentaQ comes out, finds a shot onto PentaQ. Dashes in. He's trying to get the culling off, but the minions are blocking it for jinjiao. Solari comes out to keep his team alive. It's a chaotic team fight, but GimGoon's already getting taken down. Savoki will fall shortly after. PentaQ tries to use the base gates to get away. Avoidless wants to chase him down. He's
pretty low on health. Might want to regret that decision in a minute. Has to flash away SturgeGA to keep himself alive, but the third inhibitor will fall down, and I may look towards the Nexus.
Yeah, they're going to just start chipping away at these Nexus turrets. I mean, they catch Republic one more time. Looks like there's absolutely nothing that Game Talents can do.
Nothing indeed. A teleport will return amazingJ and baeme towards this Nexus. They do some work onto the turrets, and a very, very aggressive game from Aime picks up the first win of the series.
And what a good win, Fish. Like, there was just, you saw in that last team fight exactly what they were trying to execute on. Let's dive onto jinjiao. Let's take out what is probably half of the damage from this composition. But there was just a brick wall in front of him at all times. They couldn't wade through what was a Thresh and Nautilus as well as that Ryze. Just way too much work had to be put in out of Game Talents, and they couldn't get it done.
And it's